Greetings, Mechwarriors! Welcome back to MW5 and the adventures of the McJedi Free Company. I rejigged the colours of the camos because last time it defaulted back to, well, the default colours, which I'd very smartly not taken a screenshot of the exact colour codes that I'd set it previously, so it might look slightly different than it did in episode 2, and it definitely will look different from episode 3 because, like I said, that was the default colours. So we got our extra mech. We have now got this 45 tonner, the Phoenix Hawk. We've got a brand new pilot, Goblin, and I've actually advanced time a little because there were just a few repairs and things to do from last time as well. While we're here, though, there's not much else we can do in this system, but we can pick up some more Cantina contracts, so we can collect 10 basic small lasers, kill 10 hovercraft, kill 20 VTOL units, and I think we have one possible contract we can take left over. We might also have a quick look on the mech market, see if there's anything here. Not that we can really afford to buy any. We do need to buy or get an urban mech as one of the things, but I suspect the payout isn't going to be as much as the cost. I think we can actually look it's here, isn't it? Yeah, no, the payout's less than $1 million. The payout's only about half. So we could complete it that way, but we're not going to. I kind of do want to have an Irby at some point, but my rules of not heavily customizing things, I would kind of maybe want to customize the Irby. This does come with 2 AC2s though, so presumably it has a decent ammo capacity. I am tempted. They are very, very well armoured for being a light mech. They have the quirk of basically just getting a bunch of extra armour because they're Irbies. They also have that lovely 360-degree torso twist, but the fact that I'm not allowing myself to upgrade engine cores unless it's completely unavoidable. The default Irby speed is pretty damn slow, so maybe I won't do that to you. I've played with Irbies enough on my other campaign. We'll also have a quick look, see if there's anything. A B laser. Basically, very hot running, but it does it even. Is it better damage than? It's actually, it's like 2 large lasers strapped together, so but I don't think there's anything here. We're starting to get some of the silly exotic things like literal artillery cannons. I don't think I've ever used those yet. I'm not entirely sure how they are meant to be used, but anyway, we do also have some medium lasers we can upgrade, so we'll do that. So, we're actually going to jump here, and then I think we'll hop across this conflict area, and we're going to go here, but we'll probably end up going via this industrial hub here, because we'll probably need some repairs and refits. So anyway, let's see what is in Haynesville, what this rare mech is. My costs are relatively low at the moment, so if it's nothing too expensive, I might even consider buying it. Right, it's a fire starter. I feel like we looked at this last time, and I've forgotten that was the one that we looked at, but it ain't a bad mech, but we're not paying 4 million credits for that. I probably just wasted the 25k credits coming here. Probably didn't need to do that. We do have a new news item though. Yeah, we're up to the 25th of April 2016, so what's the new news item? 230th anniversary of the First Succession War. So basically, yeah, ballistic rifles and chem lasers. So I'm guessing, does that mean they're going to start appearing more often, or I don't know. Anyway, it'd be more thematic if you found them more on the periphery, but I don't think that actually happens. So let's see what missions we have available. Multiple missions we can't do at the moment. Assassination contract for House Kurita. Don't particularly want to do that. We'll jump to Pascagoula and pick up that final Cantina contract on the way past. So let's take a look, see what they have. Collected Javelin, killed 3 commandos, collect 5. Well, we've already got one mech collector thing on the go, so let's go with a mech hunter one. Which, although that one does pay better. But we kind of want to level them all up, really. Yeah, I guess we'll go with that. And that's all of the contracts we can have at the moment. So what else is going on here? Bremond. Para contracts versus House Kurita. Raid contract. That's annoyingly. Oh, there we go. Demo contract. Yeah, let's go to Bremond. Assassination and Scorched Earth. We can do both of those fairly easily. We can put our new Phoenix Hawk to the test. So here we are. We have 2 versus House Kurita. We don't have any rep with the Outworlds Alliance at the moment, who are a periphery realm. Like there's a, I think I've explained this already, but yeah, there's a bunch of the smaller ones where it just clumps them together for, I don't know. Makes it easier to grind rep with a group of smaller ones rather than have to do it individually, I suppose. But let's do this one first. We'll get better rewards for this one just because we can ask for more stuff. So we have desert, poor visibility, and it's dusk. So we're probably going to need to be using night vision or whatever. Right, so C-bill payout, yes, we need all of the monies, and I guess we'll just take the other 2 as salvage shares. We shouldn't hopefully take too much damage in this one and make me regret not taking the damage coverage, but I guess we'll see. So let's get Goblin in his mech, if it will let me select it, who weirdly he has no affinity for, but hey, that's just, you know, that's just how this mod works. I don't think there's a way for the mod to do that. That does put us over tonnage a bit, but yeah, like I said, I'm a bit, I don't care so much. I try and stick roughly to the tonnage, but that's very much more a tabletop thing. In the context of video games or whatever, like in the actual in-universe context, doesn't make much sense. It's like a heavy lance that was totally overkill would be a lot more expensive to deploy than a more relevant lance. And you do get some of that reflected in the fact that your heavier mechs are a lot more... Oh, we're immediately going into artillery fire, that's fine. A lot more expensive if they get damaged, so yeah. But yeah, the tonnage limits don't especially... Oh, I wish I had some jump capability right now. The tonnage limits don't especially make super duper amounts of sense otherwise. Right, I know you're not artillery that's actually firing at me, but let's knock you out anyway. Because you're annoying and I don't like you. This, I've been playing this game with one of my patrons, and I think I'm amused him a bit by the fact that I was just sort of religiously going after the artillery because, you know, world tanks or MW5, you learn to hate the artillery very quickly, regardless. Right, although this is a simple demo job, we could just keep trying to avoid the artillery and go after the, I don't know. But it's artillery and I want to kill it! Also, it's very annoying. There it goes. Oh, yeah, we need to have a lock on these LRMs. I had an interesting... oh, they didn't lock on. I sparked an interesting discussion on the Mechwarrior subreddit. Or at least it was interesting, the replies I got, and I was kind of wondering why, is there an in-universe reason why there are no large-size SRMs? They cap out to SRM6s, and there are other kinds of systems like MRMs and I think MMLs, which can kind of switch between missile types. But yeah, it purely is just sort of game top balance reasons. There isn't some kind of in-universe reason why no one's ever made a bigger version of an SRM. So yeah, and I think in the tabletop there wouldn't necessarily be a constriction on if you wanted to have a whole bunch of SRMs if you had kind of like the tonnage to support it. But of course in video game terms it's fixed numbers of slots, so you don't necessarily like in a catapult with the two side things, you'd think, okay, you could cram a bunch of SRMs in there, but you actually can't. You can only have the two, so you're sort of limited to the two SRM6s, which can still pack a punch, but you know, if you could have SRM12s or something like that, or add several SRM6s and then you could cycle them and do heat management that way, but yeah, that's not a thing, sadly. So yeah, it was interesting though. There was lots of replies on the variation of, well, it's you know, it's balance reasons. But given that there's so much thought that's gone into other things in the setting, I was sort of genuinely wondering if there was some in-universe reason that someone had come up with to sort of justify this limitation. Like if it was just purely heat management, or you know, or there'd been experimental versions tried but they'd never caught on, or something like that. But no, it's one of those things where it's just literally gameplay balance and there's no in-universe explanation for it. It just is. Anyway, so yeah, talking of Reddit, they seem to be shooting themselves in the foot at the moment. Ploughing ahead with some absolutely bonkers API access, basically. They're planning to charge stupid amounts of money with, I guess, the intent of stopping third parties essentially scraping their data. And there are other services that like, it's not uncommon for services to charge for stuff like that, but it tends to be rather more reasonable rates than what Reddit is asking. They're asking for basically truly stupid amounts of money, knowing that pretty much no one's going to pay it. So yeah, it's a little bit controversial, and a lot of subreddits, including some quite large ones, have basically sort of gone dark in protest. Because the official, I've used it very briefly, and I certainly wasn't impressed myself, but the official Reddit app for mobile, because I mean I mostly use the desktop version, but yeah, the official app is not particularly great, and apparently I didn't even realise this, but it just is completely lacking some key accessibility features which other third-party apps have. But of course they're not going to be like, there's some that have already said, right, we're shutting down because there's no way we can afford this. So yeah, and from Reddit's perspective, I guess it's like, well, we're you know, just trying to partly cover the cost, but if that were true, the actual amount they were asking would be way lower, and what they are asking for is just kind of screw you money, essentially. So yeah, it is just a matter of, well, we're going to keep all the data for ourselves and no one else gets to make any money off our data, or you know, scrape our data for whatever purpose. So there seem to be, like, it's not entirely not understandable. That was an awkward sentence. Like, you can kind of sort of see why they're doing it, but at the same time they're really just like cutting off their nose to spite their own face, or to spite everybody else's face. I'm not quite sure how you would exactly pass that saying in this particular scenario in a way that woo kind of makes sense. But yeah, it's just a lot of nonsense all around, basically, and it quite possibly might severely diminish the popularity and user base of Reddit. So yeah, we'll see. It's certainly very disappointing. It sort of comes across as them being unreasonable, even if you can kind of maybe sort of see, you know, why they might be thinking in this direction, but it's just so overkill. I know these artillery aren't the artillery that are doing anything to me, but it's the principle of the thing. I'm going to blow them up anyway, but let's not take any more artillery hits, because we don't need the extra bills. It is a shame, though. There are some really good communities on there, but I mean, quite aside from anything else, one of the major impacts what they're going to do is it's going to allow spam to proliferate a lot, because a lot of Reddit moderators rely on automated bot tools to actually do a lot of the sort of grunt work for them, and that's just not going to be possible. So yeah, was it, did I take the thing to get the javelin? I've forgotten already, but no, I didn't. I took the other thing, didn't I, even though it was gonna, or did I can't remember now. There's no way to check from this screen. I've already forgotten. Right, those we did need, though. It highlights, see, it's nice, it highlights if there's parts that you need, it highlights those for you. But if there's a collector mech thing, I guess that just doesn't mesh very well with the fact that you've got the mod breaking down mechs into different parts. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, these are both different Javelin versions anyway, and I can't even remember which one is which, so never mind. If that even makes a difference. I'll just grab some medium laser parts, SRM6, and get us a bit of SRM ammo so we've got some spare. So that's not bad salvage value, and it's a decent payout. So, that was okay, although we did take, yeah, the Javelin and the Jenna both took some heavy hits there, so I think Yeah, no, we didn't take the... Okay, I can't... Just genuinely couldn't remember there. We were possibly going to do the extra thing in this, but it might be there when we jump back. We'll see. So that's a bit less than half the payout as profit, and the rest is going to go back into repairing the mechs. But hey ho, that's how we do things. So let's get these fixed up. That's fine, and my Centurion was just armor damage, but let's take a look at this. Yes, okay, that's fine. We do have the parts for that. Actually, we could even... Oh, we got some extra... We'll have to combine some of those medium laser parts, but yeah, that gives a little bit of a jump to damage output, so that's fine. So that's about 250,000, and then I think the Jenna just lost... Oh, it lost one of the... Okay, so we're going to actually have to... Right, don't combine those, we need those. Need 3, have 3, so we're going to have to see if we can... we can actually buy one there as well. Medium lasers... Right, they have 3 tier 0 medium lasers, which we can use. We can, I think, combine 2 of those into, and that'll let me repair the Jenna, which does not have huge amounts of armor, as I've previously said. I might bend my rules a bit to start adding things like sensors and life supports, which mechs generally don't come with. Or, well, it's going to be a while before we start to get like better armor and better structure and gyros and things. So yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We might start think about up armoring mechs if we can free up the tonnage with lighter armor and structures, but keep the weapon loadout the same. So that would kind of be in the spirit of what I'm trying to do. But yeah, otherwise I don't know how much longevity we're going to have with things like the Jenna, just because it's so weakly armored. The Javelin's not that much better, but I think it is sort of overall a bit better, even if the weapon loadout's not quite as good. But yeah, Jenna's a squishy boy, or a squishy mech rather. Right, so let's jump back and do this assassination contract. Oh, we do have a rare mech, but it's not a hero mech. Do I want to spend the 25k finding out? No, let's just go back and do this assassination contract. Right, so this won't pay out nearly so well, but sure, I absolutely am down for beating up on House Kurita. And do we take both salvage shares, or do we do a damage coverage this time? We might actually take the damage coverage this time. I think so. Yeah. Right, the Jenna still being repaired, but that's only 4 days, so that's fine.
Intel is spotty on this one. Our best estimates put the target at any
Okay, so from biomes showing off a bit here. Let's go up this way, and then we can kind of, yeah, cross off the targets, as it were.
I have a visual on the target. Take them out.
Okay, so we found the guy. It seems like it's this central mid one. There he is. He's in a hunchback with an AC-20. We're not going to make that mistake again. So, yeah. The desire to punch is strong, but I must resist. Right, there we go. His AC-20's taken out, so that's his most dangerous weapon neutralised. Right, oh, where's this other...
Primary target is down. Kill confirmed.
Right, so now we can basically just GTFO, although if we get a few kills along the way, it'll help increase our salvage. Not that we have much salvage potential out of this one. Oh, I do wish I had some SRMs on this. Also, ignore the floating rocks. Yeah, that's a thing that happens occasionally. But hey, you know, if Bethesda can do it, then this is literally Bethesda quality. And heck, I mean, I watched the Starfield thing the other day, and I'm sure we're going to have floating rock planets where it's not a bug, it's a feature. I mean, hey, Avatar did it, right? It does look good, though. I mean, I'm not expecting high things out of the main campaign, because the last couple of major titles, the main story hasn't been hot, or so hot rather. But you know, there's going to be some good side content in there, and I'm sure modders will run hog wild with it. Because Bethesda games are usually quite modder friendly, so I'm sure somebody will be cooking up a Star Wars mod or some such thing before too long. Heck, there is already a Star Wars mod that's in development for, I think it's New Vegas of all things. I think they use the New Vegas engine. Or specifically New Vegas, obviously it's sort of the same engine as Fallout 3 with a few extra things that Obsidian put in there, but yeah. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, later this year looks good anyway. I've got Payday 3 coming out, as I was saying in the previous video I did. Although it sort of remains to be seen whether it actually will be any good or not. But yeah, there was something else as well that's coming out later this year. I can't remember what it is now, but. Yeah. Oh, the DLC. I think the single story DLC we're getting for Cyberpunk 2077. That's going to be coming out later. There's probably something else I'm forgetting as well. Anyway, not a lot out of this one because we didn't blow up a huge amount of stuff. But yeah, I'll take the LRM. That can be combined into something. You know, I'll take a bit of the spider just because we can maybe sell that or like combine it with some other bits, and we'll take those two basic medium lasers. Right, this was much better. We didn't stick around for the fight. It's probably a good thing we didn't either, because the Phoenix Hawk's back armor, the torso, was not looking so great there. That gets expensive. So well, again, actually, let's go back via Damevang. I don't quite know how one's supposed to pronounce that, but yeah, let's see what the mech on sale there is. It's a Cicada. Yeah, I don't think so. That actually has less armor than the Jenna. Also, two flamers, a flamer and two medium lasers. It's not exactly amazing firepower either. The flames require you to get very close. But the armor doesn't really support that. Also, it's taunting me once again with another Irby, but no, we're not going to buy one. Let's do a quick check, see if there's any tasty equipment. I don't think so. I do have another couple of those. We only do two more of those now. They're pretty cheap. Normally you want to try and salvage them, but yeah, in this case they're pretty cheap, so I think that's fine. I'll just do a quick check over the actual weaponry and see if there's any other things I want to buy so we can potentially upgrade them. So I've bought 1 or 2 more bits of equipment, but yeah, there's nothing I can really do to upgrade weaponry at the moment. I basically need some more SRM4s. If I can get better LRM10 for the Centurion, that'd be good. And better AC10 also for the Centurion. So those are the things we have to look out for. So as we're a bit closer, we can now start to see what missions are available. I could do an infiltration contract. They're a bit finicky, but I don't think I've done one of those so far. You can potentially do them without actually having to fire a shot. They can be a bit annoying in terms of the secondaries they give you. Sometimes they're not particularly practical to do. And your infiltration and scouting contract just turns into a kill them all situation. Oh, we do have a transmission that's popped up, so that might be something. Okay, we have 2 mutually exclusive ones that we can take up, so we can... They're both basically part of the independent faction, so it's going to wash out in that sense. But yeah, interstellar expeditions basically would like us to do a morally questionable thing. Go beat up the locals so they can swoop in and have a look-see and see if they can find anything of value. And we don't know exactly what rewards we're going to get out of that, aside from a bit of rep and the 500,000 C-bills. Or we could side with the locals. And this is going to be sort of versus pirates, but basically it's also going to foul up what Interstellar Expeditions wants to do. If it helps orient your moral compass, don't think of the job as aiding and abetting thievery. Think of the job as accelerated negotiations. Okay. Yeah, we'll take the local defense job. So that's going to be our contract. There we go. So we'll track that view system. So that's not our current system. That's one we have to jump down to get. So we'll still do this infiltration. I might make this infiltration one the last one of the video as well, just because we are getting on a little bit in time. And these ones can take a little while. So we'll take the max C-bill payout and damage coverage and salvage shares for the rest. So potentially we might not get a lot of salvage, but we might get quite a lot of payout. And in this case it might actually be better to be in one of the smaller mechs, but we do have better familiarity with I think everybody's average apart from Goblin, who's still below average. But yeah, basically most of our lance is just going to be sitting not doing much, and we have to essentially run around and sensor lock as many of the enemy mechs as we can, and potentially also pick up some stuff. And sometimes you also get additional things like rescue a mech or rescue a pilot, or not rescue a mech, but basically steal a mech. So yeah, the map looks a bit different. So essentially you're on kind of a border area, not necessarily an active front line, but yeah, the red area is the enemy controlled portion of the map. It's not a bad notion, like the type of mission that they want you to do, but the way in which you do it doesn't always necessarily make sense. It's kind of a bit gamified, unsurprisingly. It's not... It doesn't usually feel like true stealth. And considering it's the kind of thing that you could presumably do with either like satellite reconnaissance or God, these rocks are all a bit in the way, or even things like UAVs or whatever. The idea that you would send a big clanky, clunky, noisy mech in, it seems a little bit silly, and it does kind of feel like, I mean, these ones always tend to, oh, get out the way, rocks, have bad weather as supposed cover for the fact that all of the enemy mechs suddenly seem to either be piloted by basically very inattentive pilots, or else somehow all their sensors have stopped working properly. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily entirely make sense, but hey, it was an attempt at doing something different, and this is actually a thing added by the DLC. I'm just if anyone asks, it was the opposing mechs that did that? Sure. Right, so yes, there is potentially... it's a bit weird. You sort of... It's not like you're carrying an extra dude along with you, or you know, an extra pilot along with you to jump into a mech. It somehow gets sort of autopiloted. It's a bit weird. So that's what that is over there. The only essential things that we have to do are basically a couple of pickups, and I think it is just those two, and doing the targeting. I don't know if partially fulfilling that gets you a partial reward, or if it's all or nothing, like you have to get that. Now, oh, there's one over there as well. This is one where we maybe want to use thermal vision or night vision, maybe? And just navigating through all these rocks is going to take a bit, so yeah, I suspect this particular mission will be quite highly edited. Oh, we're getting detection warning, which means, okay, yes. Right, fortunately, you do get a fairly generous window of like an entire minute, but yeah, fortunately none of these little outposts have any kind of radios, like, or I don't know, semaphore flags, flares, anything like that. And our sensor range is so bad that we can't tell when we're stumbling into things. It doesn't help that I'm in a medium mech. If I was in a light mech, I would have a bit more leeway. I probably really should have taken one of the light mechs. It would have been a lot more sensible. But hey, you know, it's... oh, frame rate's getting a bit jumpy there. Yeah, we're not quite at the mythical Steiner Scout Lance yet, but doing this in a medium mech is definitely not optimal. The night vision is, I think I mentioned this last time, it's so much improved on the earlier iterations, earlier modded iterations. Right, ooh. Right, so that is, we basically just target them. So that's a bunch of Urbies. Now, it's the same timer. If I happen to get detected by these people, and like, if it's a single turret, that's fine. A single turret you can easily take down. But yeah, if it's multiple enemy mechs, at that point things get a bit sticky because you have to take them down in the exact same time. Right, although things are getting a bit, well, not sticky exactly, but this terrain is seriously hampering my ability to actually get a clean shot here. Not least because that is Partly embedded in a rock. Oh, am I about to get screwed by terrain generation? Because I don't know if I can actually destroy this. That would be a problem. Right, there we go. Phew, okay. That would have been very annoying if it was... I'm again... Like, Von Biomes is... It looks fantastic, but, you know... You start adding mods and sometimes things can not entirely work as intended. Things spawning inside other things. But that can sometimes happen with the default terrain as well. Right, am I going to be far enough away? We don't have the little warning coming up on screen, so even though I'm only, like, not even 200 meters away, they can't see me. I said, you can't see me! Why I'm literally not showing as detected, but that Irby pilot doesn't know that, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. Officially not detected, except they're firing at me anyway. Right, we've got 3 turrets to take out here. Something fast with machine guns would honestly be the ideal for these missions. Right, so... That's the first thing we need to grab, and I think there's 2 more.
We've got it. You can never have too much ammunition.
So essentially, you sort of officially can't see me, but you can, and you're coming after me anyway. The good news is I think they're separated enough from their allies that if I have to take on this Irby, it's not going to trip the rest of them, so I'm only having to take out 1 mech. But that's kind of weird. That's the game. That's not even mods. That's just the game being a bit wonky. Go away, Irby! Shoo! Can at least outrun it. That is kind of weird, but it's also annoying. Because it's shooting at me, and in the moment I shoot back, the timer begins. So I just have to kind of sit and take the damage and hope he runs out of ammo. And I don't even know if the AI runs out of ammo. Right, we're going to have to just fall down this bit here. Oh yeah, we're kind of making our way around the edge of the map. We might be able to get that secondary objective. It's right in the corner. Right, there's not any horribly poorly placed things, is there? No, okay. This is going to incur some leg damage, but hey. It's fine. The armor absorbs it somehow, magically. Don't worry about it. It's video game logic. Okay, so, okay. Yeah, I don't think we're sneaky enough to get all of the enemy mechs scanned. This kind of mission will be a lot easier later on when... oh, that's just a bonus thing. We're able to actually get better sensors. At the moment, everybody's just running around with stock sensors. Right, there's a Scorpion light tank over there we're going to have to take out. Another Irby. God, I wonder if that other Irby is still slowly chugging away. Trying to chase me down. Heck, later on, and I think this is purely a modded thing, you get UAVs. You get UAV launchers. They only carry a couple of UAVs each unless you add extra storage, but yeah, they can be really handy. It's basically like it just hovers in the air. It's a little drone and sort of gives you active sensor coverage of much wider parts of the map. Right, you we're going to have to take out. And oh, wrong, right in front of me as well.
Ready to steal one of the Ep.4's battle mechs. They promised to provide support if we provide cover for them hacking the mech.
Right, so somehow this particular mech, they can like just yeah, they have Hacker Man come along and I don't know. Apparently mechs can just be piloted remote. Don't fire at the... See, this is the other problem when you get stuff like this, is they get trigger happy and start firing. And that draws stuff over. Don't do that. We have to escort it out of the zone, basically. The other one that is a thing is pilot rescue, and they're always guarded. Somehow they have the pilot incarcerated next to their still fully activated mech, and usually guarded by a couple of other mechs, and at that point it's like, well, okay, you're not going to do this without getting detected.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Right, please don't trip the other... See, it's very arbitrary. That turret over there, absolutely fine.
Target destroyed. Target
Tank driving right next to it, no, that had been
The
triggered.
targeted asset. Move up to it, and we'll begin the recovery procedure.
Oh, stopped pressing E. Ah, balls. See, you've... Oh, did we not grab it fully? No, X. I pressed X, but apparently not X enough.
Package secured.
Right, let's... GTFO. Oh, God, no, we're going to have to take out this Irby. Two Irbies, that's not what I... Oh, they've all been alerted now. General alarm countdown, yeah, we're kind of boned. Let's just run. Run, 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 run. What's the best way out of here? Oh, God. I probably shouldn't have gotten the... Because they just trigger all of the things and it's not fun. And now we're getting hammered. Right, guys! Oh, guys, maybe come and help? We do have this AI mech behind me. Oh, we lost an arm.
Walk on up to the treasure to pick it up.
Gosh darn it. Do we even have time for that? No, I'm not going to take the risk. Right, we lost our LRM ammo. Which, I thought I'd moved that, but apparently not. Right, so we're going to fail the... Don't get... I can't even tell which ones of these are mechs and which ones are... Let's just go as fast as our little Centurion legs can carry us. Come on. Right. Yeah, there we go. Can't do much about that.
They've triggered the alarm. Incoming hostiles.
And I think the mech managed to get itself blown up anyway. Right, so let's just get out of here. Like I said, it's an interesting idea, but the implementation of this whole thing does leave something to be desired. The way the missions are structured. Oftentimes it's not even worth trying to get the secondaries. Yeah, let's just run for the exit. And hope the repairs aren't too costly. Oh, it wasn't even the... It's the AC-10 that's gone, it's not the other arm. It's not the big... It's not the Rafael Nadal arm, it's the other arm. Yeah. Maybe I should name the mech Rafa. And then in a couple of episodes... Well, actually no, I don't think I'll ever forget why I named it that. It's just obvious looking at it. It's a good thing I picked up a spare AC-10, just like a same level AC-10. It wasn't even a better spec one. Right, so, yeah, that wasn't great. But that's kind of what happens when you have the... Like, because you can command your own forces to hold fire. But ally mechs like that, you can't command, so you can't tell them to hold fire. And you also get weirdness like the Irby that was firing at me even though I wasn't officially detected. So, yeah, infiltration missions, it's not the best implementation. Anyway, we've got the final 2 S-lasers though, and we'll just pick up some basic... In fact, we'll just pick up... In fact, we can't even use all of the shares because all we did was destroy turrets. So there you go. That's going to be a bit expensive, but we do at least have the parts. And we do at least also get a little bit more money from that. That's fine. So that's our first rank of equipment collector. So, yeah, that's it for this episode, I think. Hopefully you've all been enjoying it. And if you have, you can do all the usual things down below. And of course, as always, stay tuned for more.